Hey, how's she cutting, you beautiful feckers? How you all doing? So this is 3 incredible support warframes, the final video out of the 4 that I originally planned on making. Now so far I've done videos on tank warframes, damage dealing warframes, and of course crowd control warframes, which I will leave linked in this video's description, but now it's all about the support warframes, the ones that buff us and keep us alive as best that they can, unless you're the opposite side of the map from them, in which case you're up shit creek without a paddle. Now first up, we're going to take a look at the Fairy King himself, Oberon, the money warframe. Eventually you're going to have more parts of Oberon than you will ever know what to do with. Mega Streisand Barbara, Oberon needs to become a thing so that we can use all of these Oberon pieces. So why is Oberon such a good support warframe? Because I think the community can pretty much all agree that when Oberon's rework first dropped a few weeks ago, it definitely had some flaws, but Digital Extremes have gone and patched and hotfixed him into a seriously good warframe, and one that can keep a constant heal and constant armor buff active on himself and his entire squad with the right mod setup. So you and your squad can be a lot tankier, take more damage, and of course have your health on a constant regen over time. Oberon is worth building now, lads. Jesus, he definitely is. Now Oberon's hallowed ground looks visually horrible, that's my opinion. The sooner they change it to look like actual grass like the Oberon Prime trailer, the better, if they're going to do that. So Oberon's hallowed ground will remove certain status effects on you and on your teammates, while leaving you immune to any new status effects once you're all still standing on that hallowed ground. So there's going to be no staggers or knockdowns while you're standing on this ugly, murky looking hallowed ground. Certain Eximus units can of course go kiss your fairy ass, or more often than not they will just try to beat your ass instead. So when you combine Oberon's hallowed ground with his heal over time ability Renew, you can gain a substantial armor buff that will stay active for the entire duration of Oberon's Renew. All you need to do to get Oberon's Iron Renewal buff is to step onto his hallowed ground once he has his Renew activated. So Oberon puts down his hallowed ground, casts Renew, then you step onto his hallowed ground and boom, you now have more armor and a constant heal over time, until he either runs out of energy or deactivates that Renew. Then of course you will lose the armor buff after a few seconds, but once he recasts Renew and of course has hallowed ground down, all you need to do is step back onto that ground and you have the buff back, and of course Renew's heal over time. The combination of both Oberon's heal over time Renew ability and his Iron Renewal armor buff is what makes him such an effective support warframe now. Oberon's Reckoning ability, however, will also strip armor of any enemy standing on hallowed ground at the time of him casting Reckoning, as well as causing a radiation effect on enemies, which can have them trying to kill one another. So that's something that's always kind of bothered me. He's our nature-based Fairy King, but he deals radiation damage. I mean, what's up with that? Oberon is a frame worth getting your hands on if you like what you've just heard about him, and his parts are very, very common. They drop randomly from Eximus units, and it's kind of why he's called the money frame, because you will gather a serious amount of these parts the longer that you play the game, and of course selling them will get you a lot of credits. Now the next support warframe up is one that you should have all expected on this video. I guess if she wasn't in this video, you would have been pretty damn shocked. She's the queen when it comes to healing in warframe, and in the eyes of the community probably the only warframe worth taking if healing or even energy renewing is what you're looking for. She also only ever gets nerfed on a Wednesday. Of course it's Trinity, who else? Trinity is and has been our main healing warframe in the game for as long as I can remember. No one does it better. In fact, for a very long time she was the only warframe that healed whatsoever. Now, energy renewal is also her specialty. Whether it's an EV Trin or a Blessing Trin in your squad, she's going to be an incredible asset. Now it's worth mentioning that Trinity's Baiting Link augment will also allow her to strip armor of enemies affected by her Link ability. So there is definitely different ways that you can build your Trinity depending on what way you want to run with her. Now if it's an energy vampire Trinity in your squad, then you can expect a constant top up of energy as enemies get turned into those blue pulsating lanterns and killed to replenish your squad's energy. That's of course once you're in range to actually benefit from that energy regen. Now energy vampire, however, won't work on certain Warframes' draining abilities like Mace's Peacemaker or Oberon's Renewal or Excalibur's Exalted Blade and so on, basically drain over time abilities. But there's nothing stopping you from turning those abilities off and then benefiting from Energy Vampire and then activating them again, and it's instant. Graph it! Now, Blessing Trinity is basically the field medic in Warframe, one who can restore both your health and your shield while also giving you a small window of reduced damage intake. So when Trinity casts Blessing, it will replenish a percentage of your health and your shield depending on the Trinity's power strength, as well as giving you up to as much as 75% damage reduction for a short period of time. But of course that percentage is based off power strength as well. Now, Blessing has a 50-meter range, which on most Warframe maps is more than enough. In fact, if you're more than 50 meters away from your objective, fighting hordes of enemies, then why the hell are you in a squad in the first place? Solo might be better for you, so go ahead and go play with yourself. Now, unlike Oberon, Trinity's heal is instant and it's for a set amount of energy, whereas Oberon's is a heal over time ability that drains your energy depending on how many allies, or I guess allies' minions, are affected by that heal. So this is why Trinity is far superior when it comes to healing and keeping your squad alive. There is no constant energy drain with Trinity, and if there was, she could then just easily replenish it with Energy Vampire herself. Her passive also allows her to revive down teammates 25% faster, so if you've just blown yourself up with an explosive weapon, then it's okay, Trinity's got you. So the final Warframe in this video was a bit of a toss-up between Banshee and Octavia, and I know Banshee doesn't really have many buffs, but I didn't know which one to actually pick. Both bring incredible benefits to any squad. Banshee, who brings sonar, and of course Octavia with metronome and her amp ability, not to mention Octavia's mallet as well. Now, Banshee is one of those frames that nearly every so-called end game endurance running squad will take, because spamming sonar will allow you to deal incredible amounts of damage, and with the terrible scaling in Warframe, that damage is really needed. So she's worth building for sonar alone, and her silence also adds a small crowd control window, and her max range Soundquake build can lock down an entire map depending on the tile set. Now, however, as far as a support Warframe goes, I felt Octavia added more actual buffs to your squad than Banshee, so Octavia fits that supportive role for this video better, but Octavia is also an insanely powerful damage dealing Warframe with her mallet ability. Its scaling damage is absolute nuts. Also, if I put Banshee in this video because of the damage boost she gives, then you could also fit Nova in there as well because of the damage and increased crowd control that she also brings. Octavia's metronome ability can give your squad 4 different buffs depending on how well you can move to the beat by timing those rings right. Now, a movement speed buff by jumping to the beat, a stealth buff by crouching to the beat, a multi-shot buff by shooting your weapon in time with her beat, and of course a melee damage increase by swinging your sword in time with the beat. So if you're Rhino, then you can probably just helicopter dick your way into dealing more damage. So that's 4 beneficial buffs that you can make the most of in different situations. The stealth one is incredibly effective. Any frame can become a stealth Warframe if they can move to Octavia's beat. And Octavia's ultimate ability, Amp, will also give her and her squad mates a weapon damage multiplying buff, so you will be dealing a lot more damage, and with the right power strength on the Octavia, this can go up as high as a 6 times multiplier, which will leave your weapons killing enemies incredibly fast. Now, Octavia's arsenal has a serious amount of squad buffs and damage boosts worth taking advantage of in any squad. Her mallet ability, however, her first ability, also makes her an incredible damage dealing Warframe due to the fact that it scales really well. It draws enemy fire in and then deals a multiplied amount of that damage back onto all enemies inside its radius. With a high enough amount of power strength, this can have your Octavia taking out really high level enemies without any real issues whatsoever. So Octavia is definitely a benefit to any squad simply because she can buff your damage but also dish out a serious amount of damage in return if you can listen to her beat. If you can't, then of course you can turn it off in the options. There are other frames I guess I could have put in this video as support Warframes, but they would be different types of support and they're all amazing Warframes as well. So this is the honourable mentions you're seeing on the screen right now. Now, our newest Warframe, Harrow, the Priest, the Dark Priest, isn't released at the time of making this video, but he does look like a support Warframe and one that might fit into this type of a supportive role because he's going to be able to regen energy for us. So would he be worth putting in or not? Now, if you're watching this video a month or two after it's been made and Harrow is released now, then do you think he would have fit in with one of these support types of Warframes? Let me know in the comment section below. So that's pretty much the video, that's it done. Let me know who your favourite support Warframe is as well. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.